Thank you for downloading the Business Central Toolbox. If you've made it to this video, you're likely trying to add permissions and licensing to your first few apps that you're working with. Now, I've got another video linked here as to how to add your demo key and buy your full key, but what we're going to focus on today is part 2, which is adding permissions to your users. So the first thing on a user, come into your users, you can search for it in the search bar up top here, and click on the user in question. If you're doing them one by one, you can come down here to the user permission sets, click on these 3 dots, and search for the permissions that you're looking for. Common objects is a permission that literally every user will need in the system when downloading any of our BC Toolbox apps. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to JC's user in this case. Now, you can see that that could be a little bit manual as you have to go user by user, permission set by permission set. So what I like to do for these apps, as well as really any permissions in Business Central, is come back to this user screen here that lists all of your users, click related, click permissions, and then click permission set by user. Now what this is going to do is it's going to pull up all of your users across the top, all of your permission sets down kind of the rows here. What I'm going to do is click this drop down, click filter, and search for ERC star. ERC star is going to be the prefix for any of our user permissions. So now this is just narrowing it down to things that I know are part of the Business Central Toolbox. Like I mentioned, common objects is one that everyone's going to need. So you can come in here and simply check the all users box, and it will go across all of the columns for all of your users. Let's say we're working with advanced prepayments, which is a tool to make prepayments easier and more flexible in Business Central. I'm going to want to make sure that everyone also has the user permissions. Every app that you download is going to have a user and a setup. So in this case, advanced prepayments, I'm going to go click on user to make sure that everyone in the system has access so that they don't get any errors while working with the system still day to day. Setup, I've only got admin and Ben here on the setup. This is going to determine who can actually set up the app. So for prepayments, who can define the AP and AR side of things for which deferral, accounts, expense, and revenue those want to go to, as well as activating the app in general and turning it off and things like that. So you may want to narrow that down more here, may not want to do all users. So in this case, only the admin and Ben can see that. If you were also to download history and statistics later, let's say, common objects is only going to get downloaded once, so you do not need to do that again. Just simply come up to the user, again, make sure everybody's got that there, and then the setup. For these reports, you can more narrowly define in the setup who can see what, so that's not really controlled here. This is just making sure that folks have access to the tables. The last thing that I'll mention is the company name up here. So I haven't mentioned it yet, but everything I'm doing here is for ERPCC App Source Demo. If you need to add permissions in other companies, you'll want to click on the company and do the same thing here. Or if the permissions apply to all of the companies, you can simply blank this out. And then if I come back down to common objects, you'll see it's changed. I can click this check mark, and now common objects is authorized across all of these users, across all of the companies, since it is blank here. So this is going to be the second crucial thing that you need to do. Make sure that the license keys get set up, either the demo or the full key, and that the users have been added permissions here, and then you should be good to go. If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to us or your partner at any time, and we would love to help and answer any of your further questions. Thank you.